Hello, everyone. I'm Kathy Cronin, and I'm welcome to our panel discussion. And joining me today are these lovely ladies. I have Kristine Pass, Reverend Linda, Susan Jarboe, and Daren Downy. And I'm going to present a topic, but before we do that, I want to take some time just to get centered and to feel present in this moment, to be with each other and open to the spirit and the divine. And to do that, sometimes it just takes a moment of deep breathing, taking a deep breath in, fill your lungs up with that air, and then just release the tension and stress in your body. Clear your mind of the thoughts and the busyness that's going on in your life. And just know that this time that you've set aside is for you to be connected with your divine spirit within and around you. We call upon God and Spirit to enlighten us with your wisdom, with your guidance. We open our hearts and our minds to that which is ours to learn today. We are thankful for the panel who comes together to share their thoughts and their experiences. And we bless those who have tuned into this taping today in the hopes of finding some moment of enlightenment and just to feel the presence of God and Spirit and the love that surrounds each and every one of us. Amen. So my topic today is taken from the Unity Booklet, Today I Am, and it's 30 days of living with intention. And I selected day 20 out of this booklet, and it's called Today I'm Positive. And this was written by Reverend Michael Jamison from Topeka, Kansas. And what he writes is, whatever is mine to do this day, I am positive it will be fun. It will be fun because I choose to make it fun. Whatever the event is initially, it becomes what I make it. The aftermath is mine, whether I choose the event or the event chooses me. What matters is that I remain positive regardless of situation, circumstances, or even adversity. Positivity makes any blessing more and any challenge less. I am positive that even the mundane can be made grand when I affirmatively declare it will be fun. I am positive that being positive becomes for me far better than being negative. I am a better person on the plus side, and I am better for others when I am better for me. It will be fun to watch a transformation for the better unfold because I maintain a positive attitude. I can just as easily manifest an awful day for myself by degrading into negativity. I choose instead to upgrade by giving anything negative a positive spin. I intend to make every day a good day this way. Because I am positive, I will make it so. It will be fun. So to bring some fun to this panel discussion today is to look at how we can see things in a positive direction. And I often think in my life is I know I make that choice. I can see the circumstances and recall the negativity of it, or or the crisis in it, or whatever was going on, the stress, or I can choose to say, well, let's have a fun time with this. Let's turn this into being something that can be fun. And I'll give an example of something that just recently happened in my life. I had a friend visiting from Detroit, where I grew up. We had worked together back in the 70s. We've maintained this friendship. And while she was here, we went to the Malibu Barbie Cafe for lunch. And how much fun that was to see all that pink and all the things that dealt with Barbie. And it brought us back to when we were young girls and had our Barbies and dressing them up and the clothes and things like that. It was like, they even had a little section there that if you wanted to, you could go roller skating. I was not venturesome enough to put on roller skates because I figured I like my hip in the position it is and not, having to take a fall. However, we had, a fun time just sitting in this environment. And it was nothing so exciting and exuberant, but it was just the fond memories that came up, the fun of being there and remembering that thing. The other aspect of is that with this, what this cafe does is you have seating times and they give you 90 minutes. So it's like 12 to 1:30 and then 1:30 to 3. So we were there, we had eaten our lunch, we had taken pictures, we had explored, and we were sort of ready to go. Our waitress had asked if we wanted dessert, and I said, no, we're done, and we're waiting for the check. Well, at about 1:25, since the next seating's coming, the hostess comes around and says, you're going to need to clear your table because we need to have it for the next seating. And we're going, we would love to go. We've been ready for the last 15 minutes waiting for our check. I said, we can leave without paying if you want us to give you our table, but it's sort of like make a little joke about this. And so it's like, send the waitress over, we'll pay our bill and we'll be out of here. Besides, I had another meeting that we were heading to. And so it was sort of like the stress of that is like looking on the negative side of, well, she didn't bring us our check and we've been waiting for 15 minutes. And then it's like, well, you want our table, we'll leave without pay. It's sort of like that aspect of making it at least lighthearted instead of a downer type thing, didn't bring it, for the fact of feeling so negative. And it did put us in a pinch to try to get to the next meeting on time, but it was like, we're not going to stress out. We had this wonderful experience. So, and we got to the meeting that we were going to, and that was enlightening. So it was sort of at the end of the day, we could talk about what was good and not focus on the negative. And the one thing that I have learned to do is when people travel, even when we travel, we focus on what did you like most? What did you have the most fun? Because every day there is some negative things that ends up happening. But if you can focus on what today was positive, what today, was fun, how can I make this moment in time be a fun moment in time? And I just think that it just is that shift in mindset that you can start to see the positive things happening by saying to myself, today I am positive. I see the positive. Starts to shift that I start to find life is much more fun. I have a lot more fun when I'm just being positive about it. And even when I'm hearing things that are going on that have a negative vibration to it, or the energy is in a negative thing, I just sort of say, sometimes I just go and ask myself, something positive can come from this. Something positive will develop from this. And so it's like, how can I raise that vibrational energy within myself and those around me? Is even when someone's going on and on with their pity poor me, is like, tell me something good that happened to you today. I used to do that to my sister all the time when she would get on the phone with me and talk about being her pity pot. I'd say, so tell me something good that's going on. And I got to finding out that she was calling me less often because she didn't want to not focus on positive things. She wanted to dwell in the negative, and she knew she was going to get like there's got to be something good in there, you know? So I want my panel to share how they can turn negatives into positive and how they make their life be fun. So who wants to share first?
All right. I made some notes here as you were talking, and this is not something I'm good at, emphasizing the positive. And so I have to work at it. It doesn't really come naturally. And one of the things about the negativity effect or the negativity bias is that fundamentally that was something we need because it's an alert to potential danger. And so it's the negativity effect is not always bad. Now, when we dwell in it, when it becomes our major response or our only response, then that's different. That's spending too much time in the negative. Um, I find that I'm better with other people's issues than my own. In other words, helping other people see the positive or helping our conversation focus on the positive. But by myself, when it's just me, it's harder sometimes to dwell on the positive. I really have to uh, talk to myself. Now, while you were speaking, um, my mother loved musicals, and so I grew up listening to musicals. And it occurred to me when I was making this list that a lot of our musicals talk about the positive side. For example, uh, you remember the film Singing in the Rain. There's a whole song, Singing in the Rain. Um, there's Whistle a Happy Tune. Whenever I feel afraid, I hold my head erect and whistle a happy tune. Was that from The King and I? Does anybody know? I thought it was from The King and I, but I could be wrong. Of course, there's The Sound of Music, my favorite things. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens. There's also The Jungle Book, accentuate the positive. And so that's another tune. And then there's one, walking on the sunny side of the street. And I don't remember that one real well or where it's from. Now, this is how I help myself emphasize the positive. I'll go around the house singing Raindrops on Roses and Whiskers on Kittens. And you know how music can affect our mood and so on. And so here are all of these ready-made remedies for getting yourself out of the negative and into the positive. And given this kind of music in musicals, this must be a common problem because it is addressed so often. A character is having a bad time, and then there's a song that's positive. So I don't know if other people ever sing happy, positive tunes, but that is the major way I can get out of a negative mood. Thank you for this subject. And I find it kind of inspiring to talk about this. It's sort of, it's like it's increased my enthusiasm for tackling this issue. So thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Kristine, would you like to share? Or Karen's going to, okay.
Oh,
I was
okay.
gonna say.
I will. When you picked your topic, fun came out, and I'm going, fun? What is fun? I mean, now there's one person on this panel that knows what fun is, and that's Linda. And it's like, I don't have a clue. Now, people have drawn me out, and especially I feel really bad because I miss my friends in California that would just, they would show up. I'm going here, let's go. And it's like, and it would end up fun. But for me to think up something fun, it's like, well, I'm not sure. Now, I don't sit around in a bad mood. It isn't like I'm, whatever. I love, and it is fun to take pictures of my babies, my cats. Anybody that follows me on Facebook knows that. It's fun because they're so humorous and there's so much emotion that goes on between them. And then I can add music and then I can put some text and it's really fun. And I might not go out of the house for days. I mean, that's perfectly fine. Fine with me, but it's fun. And it seems like more now, I ask myself, do I really want to do that? Do I really want, this might be happening, whatever. But my pictures are fun. And when I get in the car to go somewhere, I love, and I mean love, loud music and rock and roll. That feeds my soul. A concert feeds my soul. It is so fun. That is fun. And, but I came from a family that my mom always was into having fun, whether it was on the golf course, the tennis court, and the constant fight was, about her needing to stay home and take care of the children and whatever. My dad knew nothing about fun. So I think I got kind of the opposite end. But I mean, it's like I'm not negative, and I'm really I don't entertain watching anything that's negative. It might be very, very heavy because there is a lot of very heavy things going on. But it always ends up with something inspirational, or there's been a change that's happened or something. And I love to be fed inspirationally. I mean, I don't know, that really does charge me. But I don't sing around the house. Nobody would want to hear anything I have to sing. So I don't know. I guess I have to move back to California to engage in the fun people. And I do see on Facebook, it's like, oh my God, now it's time for all of the concerts and things out in the park. And, I probably wouldn't engage in thinking to go do it. But boy, Deb used to always call and get the gang together. And it was fun. It was fun. So now I guess I'll stick to taking pictures. But I have a choice as to whether I want to engage in watching something that's negative. And I would never engage in anything mainstream. Or a conversation, criticism. It's like, I don't have time for that. I mean, I can do enough stuff on myself out of my own head. I don't need to watch it, So, but I'm a big girl. So what I want to watch or engage in, I have the choice. I control the remote now, not an ex-husband or somebody else. So it's up to me what I do. So anyway, thank you for that fun topic.
Thank you. Kristine.
This topic is fun, and doing these panels is fun, which I did not expect to be saying. I am not one of those people who have trouble finding the fun in things. I have been called the silver lining gal. The one who wears the rose-colored glasses. Well, I happen to like that view. Thank you. I was so tickled when Susan was talking about the songs because singing in the rain is one of those things that as a kid, when it rained, my mom, my sister, and I would go out and roller skate up and down our sidewalk in the rain, singing in the rain. And, and so that was just a perfect one to bring out. And as far as the fun things just in everyday life that Karen was talking about, Gary, my husband, and I play games in the car. We do not go anywhere that we aren't playing a game. Usually it's two. We've got a license plate game going on. We've got colors of cars is another thing. We look for the rainbow in the cars. And then when we get to the store, one of my favorite things to do is play the smile game because my smile has been scientifically proven to raise the dopamine in people who see it. It's actually true of everybody, but I like claiming it for myself. And so I like to see how many people I can get to smile because I've smiled at them. And the best ones are those people who are, oh, they're stone-faced and they're grumpy and they're upset, and then they see me smiling at them and their face is light. And I've actually had people stop me in aisles, like they'll pass me and I'll smile at them. And then a couple aisles later, they're saying to me, you really made my day. I needed that. And it's the most lovely thing. It's just like, how can you have a moment like that and not be just enthralled with the joy of it all? Because I was bedbound for so long, I learned to find happiness in small things. The clock saying 5:15. Well, my birthday's May 15th, and so that brings me great joy. Getting to see the sunlight change on the trees throughout the day is just gorgeous and so much fun. And it seems like so doing nothing, and yet it fills my soul. And then the last thing that I wanted to share was about going to the bookstore. There is so much fun in going to the bookstore. We went the other day and I got this big book, which isn't like anything that you would think I would be interested in. It's definitely, well, quite frankly, I think it's the man was trying to start a cult. But but then when we got home, I just couldn't wait to start reading it. And that indeed was fun. And then right after that, I learned that I think it's a Japanese word, and I hope I get it right, but sandoku, which is the joy of unread books. And I'm like, oh, honey, that is me. My house, I have tons of books because it does bring me great joy. The idea that one of these days I will sit down and just be able to read. It doesn't matter. And, no matter if the electric goes out or anything like that, because I will still read. So thank you for this, Kathy. Like I said, this was a very fun topic.
Fun. My life is so much fun. It absolutely and completely is. I enjoy my life. I'm really, really busy a lot of the time, and I'm trying to curb that because we have a new project that we're manifesting out here. And it's like, okay, so I can let this go, I can let this go. But I love everything that I do. Everything I do is so much fun. It's somebody, I think it may have been Susan, hit on a, a, a tool that I've used my whole life. If I go under, if something really brings me down and I'm having trouble getting a different perspective on it, turning it in some way that makes sense to me, I will ask myself, what would I tell my kids? Or what would I tell my friends? And really make a point of telling myself that. And it becomes a habit. Learning to say things like, well, that just happened instead of, oh God, what am I going to do? It makes it more fun. It keeps it more workable. And one more thing, Susan, you missed the song, and you might enjoy this ridiculous movie. Um, Always look on the bright side of life. I'm not sure if that's the title of it. It is Monty Python. Um, and the song happens in the, I think the guy's, sentenced to death and singing this song always look, and it never ceases to bring me up. And I think we talked about this recently, but there are different like television shows or books or songs that always lift my heart. And one of them is Drew Carey's Whose Line Is It Anyways? I cannot sit through an episode of that show without laughing out loud. And once I start laughing, it's easier to see and engage in the fun. Thank you for this topic. What a wonderful thing to think about and talk about with all you wonderful people. Thank you.
Well, thanks everyone for sharing your thoughts on this, and what fun that it brought out is like hearing how different people, when Susan talked about songs, it brought back a memory for me. Was I had, my bedroom was the downstairs bedroom below the kitchen in our house when I was growing up. And my mother, would get up in the morning. She worked in the school district. And so she would get up and she would put the radio on in the kitchen while she was getting her breakfast together and whatever she was prepping for the day. And the morning DJ, the morning show DJ, which was J.P. McCarthy, started his show at 6 a.m. with Put on a Happy Face. So I woke up every morning to that song is Put on a Happy Face. So maybe one of the things we can remember is that when we wake up in the morning is remind ourselves, put on that happy face. And I like the game of smiles. When you walk by is like, see if you can get some people. I love doing it with children, is like just to get them to look at them and get them to smile, is that connection. So is that all part of the fun of life, and just brings so much richness to our souls. So we'd love to hear from those who joined us today. If you liked our topic, you could hit the like button or you can leave your comments to it. And please, if you're not a subscriber already, do subscribe. There's a little bell that you can click on that so you'll get notifications. We welcome you to join our panel. Like we all shared, is like we never know what the topic's going to be, but we all have life experiences to share with each other about it. And we're always open. We're so grateful that, Kieran ended up joining us and Kristine. So as we grow, it's just sharing these thoughts with people and having just that moment in time. So we look forward to you joining us and letting us know you're out there. And if there's something you'd like us to do a topic on or expand upon, we are open to hearing from you. So we want to send you out into a very blessed day and have a very positive day. And just remember to look on the positive side and have fun. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.